Right, we're going to be looking at loops again today. How do you use them in a little bit more of a familiar context, like when you ask a question or something like that. So, what is a loop actually? Well, it's something that repeats, but what's actually going on? So this will repeat from our last lesson we learned 5 times, so it's going to print out the word 5 times. Now it doesn't just all happen at once. It looks like it's happening at once for us, but it's actually, if you slowed it down, you would see it like this, where if you run it, and of course my animation isn't working, there you go. So it's coming up slowly, one at a time, but the way it's working is I is actually going up 1 every time you go around. So it starts at 0, goes round, becomes 1, goes round, becomes 2. You could probably see it better. You can actually just write print I. If you do print I, again, it starts at 0, and then it will go round, become 1, go round, become 2, go round, become 3, and so on. Notice that it always stops 1 number earlier than what you write here. So if you wanted it to go around an extra time, you would have to add an extra number. And basically it gets to this point and then it just calls it quits. It can't be bothered anymore. It's a unique feature of Python. And every time you go around a loop, it's called an iteration. Like I said, I think I mentioned this last video, you don't have to call it I like it. Most programmers use it, so that's how I'm going to teach it. Some people call it counter, but it doesn't really matter what you count in. You can count anything you want. You could just write your own name there if you really wanted to, and it would still work. So going to be looking at a bit of math with this. So let's say you've got the I, because we know it's a number anyway. You can do the times tables, so it will print 0 times 5, then it will go around and do 1 times 5, and it will give you this result slowly. Now, question I'm going to ask, this is kind of like, how would we avoid multiplying the number by 0? I feel a bit like Dora the Explorer here, waiting for an answer. Hopefully, you've figured out the answer is to change this number, 0, to 1 here. So now it will do 1 times 5, 2 times 5, and so on. And then it will, like I said, it doesn't go up to 30 because it stops 1 early. So worksheet 10, yeah, I'll discard that. It's pretty simple. It's just a lot of little tasks just to get used to it. First one is you just have to copy this out. That is it. So you know what? We'll just go for I in range 0 to 10. Make sure you do a colon at the end. That's, if you get a giant red line, it's because you've missed out a colon. And just go print out hi. Run that. Yeah, whatever. There you go, 10 times. Print out food 100 times. You should be able to figure that out pretty easily. This one is to get your numbers. These ones you have to fill in the blanks. So how do you get your 2 times table, the first 5 numbers of the 2 times table? So using what we just looked at, you would do I, and it's going to be the 2 times table, so I times 2, and how much is it they want? I wrote it, but first 5 numbers. So you can just write 0 to 5, or sorry, 1 to 6, should I say. Run it. And that's the first 5 numbers of the 2 times table. Really, we're just going on from there. Slightly more complicated one is create a program that asks what times table you would like to display, and then print the first 20 numbers of it. Your final answer should look like this. So what you can do is just go times table, ask a question, times table equals, remember this is an int input, what is your times table? If you enter it, I think it just errored. We'll try that again. What is your times table? Let's say we do the 9 times table. That's the first 5 numbers. I think this asked for first 20 numbers. So again, we just change 1 to 21. What is it? Let's do 8 like that. And that's the same answer as the worksheet. Very similar, asking for a name. You have to have a think. I'm not going to do all of them. Have a think about where would you put that code to get it to repeat 5 times, and where would you put the code to get it to ask your name 5 times. It's exactly the same lines of code. You just have to move them about a little bit. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. This one is really hard. Don't worry if you can't get this. If you can, I mean, it's great, but we'll be covering that in a later lesson. Right, thank you for listening, bye.